let me show you something really embarrassing. Check this out. This old man that you're looking at, this guy, he is the current King of England, King Charles III. He is a simp for Islam. He's paying a visit to the Grand Mosque of, I don't know, Manchester or wherever. I don't know where he is. Irrelevant. Look at him. What an embarrassment. What a national embarrassment this guy is. He is simping for a religion that has been trying to destroy his religion, the church that he's the head of, for the last 1400 years. Well, the Church of England hasn't been around for 1400 years, but Islam has been around for 1400 years, and Islam has been trying to dismantle Christianity ever since it came into existence. This guy, King Charles, well, I called him Cuck Charles. It might seem a bit harsh, but it's not really. I mean, if you think about it, if you literally, this is exactly what it means. He's watching his religion getting attacked, screwed by another religion, and he's simping for it. What a disgrace. Look at that. This is him. Look at him. Cambridge Central Mosque. Sorry, that's what it is. That's where you went. Cambridge, not Manchester. King Charles III. You know what? I was just brushing up on my English history. You know the name of the king during the last English Civil War of the 17th century? Oliver Cromwell won. His name was also King Charles I. King Charles I remains the only English monarch who was executed in public. And then Oliver Cromwell, as you know, became the dictator of England. I think he called it the Commonwealth of England until his death. And then I always forget his name, General Monk. He restored the monarchy, and he brought King Charles I's son, King Charles II, and then he restored the monarchy. And after that, which was 1680s or something, and since then, this is the only Charles. There hasn't been any other Charles in between. This is why this is King Charles III. So King Charles I was executed, King Charles II was brought back, and this is King Charles III. I hope history doesn't repeat itself, because a lot of people, this is not just us activists saying that, a lot of people are saying that. People like Professor David Betts, who is an expert, he's an academic. He said that there's 1 in 5 chance that England might go through another civil war by 2030. 1 in 5 chance. Okay. And why would that be? Why are people so angry? Look at this. This is why people are angry. Can you blame them? This is an old video, but check this out. Oh no, this is our lunatic. Forgot her name. This is our lunatic. She's a woke lefty lunatic. Yeah, I think this happened when he came to Australia. And he's saying, this is not your land, you're not our king. She pretends to be, I think she's got some 20% Aboriginal in her. What's her name? Oh my gosh, she's that retard. What's her name? Oh yeah, Senator Lydia Thorpe. That's Lydia Thorpe. She's a senator. Senator Lydia Thorpe. Don't worry, she's a lunatic. But he deserved it. You know what? I have no respect for him. He is a cuck. He's not a King Charles. He's a cuck Charles. So anyway, I was listening to our former Prime Minister Tony Abbott, and he was saying that all of our Western democracies, especially in the Anglosphere, England is struggling the most. But then he also said what I often say, that great countries always have a way of fighting back. And I thought, you know what? That's true. Australia did not become as great as it is by some accident. Yeah, sure, there are a lot of things that have to go in your way in order for things to work out. And that's the same with brilliant individuals as well. If certain things hadn't happened in their lives, then, they might not have become successful. But overall, there still is a lot about the character of an individual that makes him successful. And it's the same for countries as well. My country of birth, Pakistan, it's a failed country. It's about 80 years old now. It's about 80 years old. And I'm 42 years old. And I grew up in Pakistan hearing that, oh, you know what? This is the year that Pakistan is going to rise and shine. But it's been 40 years, as I said. It's doing pretty poorly, and there is no hope in hell it's going to do well. It'd be lucky to have its 100th anniversary. It's a failed state. Throughout its existence, it's been a failed state. I wish them well. I don't wish harm on them. Good luck to you. But then when you look at successful countries like Australia or Britain or Canada or America, the greatest experiment in nation building, all of these countries have gone through a lot, but they still have emerged as victorious. That says a lot about the character of these countries. But then I was thinking about the last English Civil War in the 17th century. And I was like, you know what? Oliver Cromwell, he became a dictator. You know, what he should have done, he should have, when he overthrew King Charles, because he was a representative of the parliament and King Charles I didn't want to relinquish any power. So that resulted in civil war, blah, blah, blah. And then he ended up getting killed. But Oliver Cromwell should have relinquished power, but he didn't, because power is very seductive. It seduces people. So even in the history of great countries, sometimes we get lucky. For example, with America, we definitely got lucky. I think a lot of historians agree that if George Washington wanted to become king, then he would have become king. But he didn't. He did something that very rarely people do. Very rarely. Look around you, even today. Vladimir Putin, yeah, he doesn't want to relinquish power. He knows if he lets go of power, he's dead. So people don't let go of power, especially voluntarily. People don't do that. Oliver Cromwell didn't do it. We had to wait until he died. But George Washington did something amazing, and that happened. And I was listening to an American historian, and he was saying that had he left some ambiguity in the peaceful transfer of power, had he not been that forceful about the Constitution of the United States, on which Thomas Jefferson wrote, or was he not supportive of that document, or had he not believed in democracy, had he left any ambiguity, had anything else happened slightly differently, America might not have become the country that it became. To this day, the American Revolution remains the only successful revolution in the history of humanity. Every other revolution has failed. So, yes, America ended up becoming one of the greatest countries on earth, but we still rolled the dice here and there. We got lucky. Now, if we come to Australia, early Australian settlers had inherited strong British values regarding democracy. Did you know that Australia's first newspaper, The Australian, was the first independent newspaper in the Western world? Sorry, I don't know about America though, but Australia, we had a first independent newspaper in Australia before even England. It was completely independent. We inherited some good values of Britain and we let go of some other values. Anyway, I'm digressing. My overall point is, yes, great countries have great character, and that character is often put through a stress test. And this is why I believe that all of our Western democracies right now are going through a stress test. We have people like Cuck Charles, who is completely ignorant of history. I mean, if someone tells you that, hey, you've got terminal cancer, as we have been telling these people that Britain, wake the hell up. These people that you're kissing, they're not your friends. They want to overthrow you. Then, sure enough, 20 years ago, King Charles is a relic of the past. So maybe he grew up in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. So he grew up differently. He had different values. The world was very different back then. But do you not think that your entire civilization is at stake? Do you not think that maybe you should take a second opinion? Maybe all these people, all these Islamophobes who are warning you about the dangers of Islam, regardless of what you have believed up until this point, that, we're all one people, all cultures are equal, and we're all the same, we all bleed the same, blah, blah, blah. That's what you believed in for the longest time. But now more and more people are trying to warn you about the dangers Islamism poses. Your entire country's future is at stake. You have a country that has a 2,000-year-long history. All of that is at stake. Maybe you should get a second opinion. Maybe, maybe. No, you don't even have to listen to the Islamophobes. You don't even have to listen to the extremists. All you have to do is listen. Read the Quran. Look at this. Believers, do not take the Jews and the Christians for your allies. But here we have Cuck Charles III, who's like, no, we are friends. Come hug me. It's like it's so embarrassing, isn't it? Listen to this pathetic speech by him. It's like a rejected dog who's been discarded by his owner who doesn't want him, but the dog is still wagging his tail and saying, please, please love me back. Listen to this.
This, that is, why the wisdom and learning offered by a sacred tradition like Islam matters.
This is the wisdom he's talking about. Do not take the Jews and the Christians for your allies. I can go on and on about these pathetic verses from the Quran.
And if I may say so, why those who hold and strive to preserve their sacred traditions in different parts of the world have every reason to become more confident of their ground. The Islamic world is the custodian of one of the greatest treasuries of accumulated wisdom and spiritual knowledge available to humanity. It is both Islam's noble heritage and a priceless gift to the rest of the world. And yet, so often, that wisdom is now obscured by the dominant drive towards Western materialism, the feeling that to be truly modern, you have to ape the West. To counter that tendency, I've done what I can with my School of Traditional Arts to nurture and support traditional and sacred craft skills, not least those of Islam, because they keep alive a perspective that we sorely need, even though short-term fashion deems them to be irrelevant.
As I said, like a rejected dog. Listen to these Muslims. Look what they think about Islam. I read you the Quran, but if you want further clarification or further explanation on that, listen to these Muslims.
It is from our religion that we have to hate them for the sake of Allah. We love what Allah loves, and on the opposite of that, we hate what Allah hates.
Let's not beat around the bush. We don't love each other. We're not on the same page. We are not friends. Does that make sense? We are enemies.
Very simple. No integration, no multiculturalism, no diversity, no tolerance. I got my own deen, you got your own deen. You got your democracy, we got our own sharia. You got your own free mixing, we got our own nikah. Own cheating within the marketplace, your own credit cards. We got our own economic system. We got our own foreign policy. We got our own deen.
What can I say, guys? What can I say? We are being ruled and governed by cowards and traitors. They have sold themselves out. And again, what makes it all the more tragic is the fact that he is the head of the Church of England. The Church of England, that Islam, not fanatic Muslims or this Muslim or that Muslim, Islam as an institution, as an idea, as a concept, as an ideology, hates and it wants to dismantle it. Isn't that treason? It's not just treason on behalf of your country, but it's also treason on behalf of your faith. As I said, he's the head of the Church of England. And that's why the Pope isn't any good either. So I'm not wishing anything on anyone, okay? I'm just saying that the public can see through this. The public can see what he's doing, and the public can see what their leaders are doing. And they're pushing the public towards a tipping point. I don't know when that tipping point will come, but when that tipping point comes, then they're going to forget who King Charles is, who your prime minister is, who the government is. They're not going to care. And this is not me wishing something. I'm just simply telling you that has happened in history over and over and over again. Whenever the ruling elite completely disregards the masses, when they stop listening to them, when they go after their way of life, their culture, their tradition, their religion, everything, when they go after it and they try to dismantle it because they're all Fabians for some reason, they want to create one uniform global world. Good luck, first of all, trying to convince Muslims of that. Muslims are not going to let go of their Islam or their Islamic way of life. Good luck with that. I don't know which fool's paradise these idiots live in. They will fight for their way of life too, because that's how humanity has always behaved. It's just these few handful of dogmatic ideologues. They think that they can tame the world. Again, They've been taming the Westerners. They've been taming the white man because the white man was the most civilized out of all of them. That's why it was easier to keep them contained. But for how long, though? For how long? You know, I read somewhere someone was saying in order to defeat the barbarians, you have to become a barbarian. Well, that's what's happened throughout human history. I'm not saying that's what should happen, but that's what's happened throughout human history. Only a person ignorant of history would deny that. So these people can keep antagonizing the natives. They can keep gaslighting the Westerners, whether you are in Australia or in the UK or in Canada or America, France, Germany. All of our Western democracies have been going through this involuntary transition. Nobody signed up for this. But because they had mortgages, they had their bills, so they kept their mouths shut. It's not going to stay like that forever. It just wouldn't happen. It's not going to happen. Forget it. People, they're pushing people against the wall. And when people have nothing left, then they come out and then they fight for what they believe in, or what they think is truly theirs, to what they believe is worth defending, worth fighting for. Good luck. Good luck. Keep your cucking, but the British public are not going to cuck on your behalf.